Morning. Okay, brief update on what's going on with Ag Solutions. So we're doing or planning a manure dewatering pilot here in late February, and everything indicates that we're going to be starting that on February 26th. We're using a piece of equipment called a KDS separator to initially separate manure, get the solids out. And then we're also going to be piloting the MORIF technology as kind of a further polishing treatment and see what kind of results we can get. We're going to be doing that on a farm in the watershed, and we're going to run several different scenarios. We're going to run the KDS with polymer, without polymer, and then this MORIF technology uses no polymer at all. So a little bit more on the MORIF technology. It's currently being used at the Salina Water Treatment Plant as a pre-treatment to remove solids and microcystin toxin. So the technology provider is pretty confident that it can work well on manure. So we're going to see what it can do. So we're excited about that, and hopefully we'll have some results, say April timeframe. I was approached about 6 weeks ago with a company that is into anaerobic digestion. They have an interesting concept proposed for our area, and it's unique because it requires little to no investment from our local producers. They're only asking for a contract for the manure, and the other unique thing is this would be manure only. There would be no food waste coming into this digester. My understanding is that, you know, when we talk digesters, everyone always thinks, well, you need food waste because you need more food waste. It produces more gas. My understanding is that there's a premium market for manure only gas. So that's what makes this unique. And I've in all my conversations with them, we all know a pound of phosphorus into a digester equals a pound of phosphorus out. So I said, I'm not interested in a digester unless we can do some sort of phosphorus recovery on the effluent. And they've assured me that would have to be part of the plan. So it's very early in its stages, but it's an interesting concept, and we'll see where it goes. I'm not 100% sold. There's a lot of things that would have to come together, but it's out there. I'm also working with Terry Mesher with ODA and a few other folks on evaluating manure belt concept. So if we had belts underneath the hogs and the hog operations to separate the solids from the liquids as it's excreted, we think that could be efficient. I think at this point we're just going to evaluate the feasibility and the cost of how that would work. My guess is it's going to be quite pricey to try to retrofit a lot of our existing buildings, but it could be a great concept for new buildings, either here or elsewhere in the state. Also wanted to mention the Soil and Water and myself, we put together a farmer survey for all the Grand Lake farmers. So we sent it out to about 180 because we included not only the ones that fall under the stress watershed rules, but the permitted operations and some smaller ones that don't meet the distressed watershed rules. So 181 we sent it out to, and we're currently at a 47% response rate, which was better than I ever expected. So I'm very pleased with that, and we still have 2 weeks left till their deadline. And we may try to follow up with a few of those with a phone call that we think might be willing to answer the survey. So this is going to give us a ton of data. It has already, you know, looking at what these guys are willing to do in the future. You know, how can we keep moving forward? And what are their ideas and what are their thoughts? Why, and asking them, you know, what do they think has the most impact on water quality? It gives them a chance to express their opinions about some things. So it's been a really good thing, and I'm excited to share those results once we're finished and have them all wrapped up and tabulated. I'm going to briefly talk about 319. Jeff Keller and I have been working on this for the last several weeks, and EPA is currently accepting applications for their 319 funding program. They're due on March 15th. So we wrote those 2 9-element plans for Beaver Creek and Chickasaw Creek last year. So we're looking at some of the projects that we had identified in those plans and trying to make a full-scale project out of it. So we've been doing a lot of talking with landowners. Jeff went out and talked to several guys and trying to get their opinions on what they'd be interested in, what they wouldn't be interested in. The one thing we don't want to do is apply for money and then nobody use it. So we're doing our work up front to make sure we've got landowners that are willing to participate in the program. We got several different ideas. We're still trying to narrow it down on what's going to work best. Again, have to talk to some more landowners and figure out what's going to work. I will mention in the future we hope to do some natural stream restoration. We had a project through the Elks Golf Course identified several years ago. We're hoping to restore that and maybe move forward on that, but it's going to take a lot of work, and hopefully maybe we can be ready for that next year. A few other final things, just to wrap up here. We're working on our last year of the Our Land, Our Water tour series. It'll be a Drive It Yourself tour, and that'll be Sunday, September 9th, and we'll have farm tours. The Ag and Water Quality Center at Wright State will be one of the stops, and wetlands and a few other practices. So keep that on your calendars. Did want to bring up the soil health grant. We have another year of collecting data on that. Basically, we're using aerial imagery to assess field conditions and how we can make better decisions. So we're going to be doing a field day with this as well, and we've got that tentatively set for October 2nd. And we'll be doing some demos and have an expert come in to talk about data collection. So it'll be an exciting event. We were funded to do our cascading series of conservation practices in an eroded grass waterway. This is up in the north half of the county. So we'll hopefully be constructing that this spring if the weather permits, and then that'll be part of our Drive It Yourself tour if we do get it constructed this spring. So, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them now, or you can always contact me anytime. Anything? All right. Thank you very much.